Hey, Joe from SJ Fence Supply. In this video, I'm going to talk about some of the things that we hear contractors telling the homeowners that simply are not true. And the reason why they're saying it is because they're too lazy to go back, or they just think the homeowners don't know any better, so they can tell them whatever they want to tell them, right? Now, that being said, this typically does not happen with the contractors that we recommend out, because we do build relationships with these guys, and they also know that if they are not treating the customers fairly and with respect and everything else, that we're not going to recommend them anymore, and then they're going to lose work. So it's kind of like a double assurance, right? So one thing that we heard today is basically there was a big gap underneath the fence. It was probably about this. It was enough to put bricks underneath. And basically the contractor told the homeowner that it can't be close to the ground because of expansion and contraction. Now that is totally false, that you need like 3.5 inches so that way it doesn't expand and contract, especially if you look at other parts of the fence where it's like literally this high off the ground. Now, as far as expansion and contraction, it is going to happen, with the seasons, right? Now, with that being said, you're looking at maybe like 1/8 of an inch, right? Not 3.5 inches. It's just they were too lazy to take care of the issue. Now, the only part that it maybe have to be higher off the ground is if you're dealing with the gates, because they have to open and close. This is especially true for if you have a double gate, because now instead of having a 3, a 4, or 5 foot wide span, that the gate needs to open, now you're looking at, I'm getting blinded by the light, now you're looking at like 8 and 10 feet opening. So if you have a slope in the ground or something like that, then there might be a bigger gap. Well, the gate might be like kind of flush to the ground on the one side, but on the other side of the other gate, it could be, depending on the slope of your ground, could be like 3, 4, 5, 6+ inches. Now, with that being said, there is the ability to have slope gates and things of that nature. Now, if this is just for sections of fence and they didn't lower it, what can be done is for our installation company, what we basically use is a butcher block type material. It's like this thick. After the fence is installed, the way we would install it is keeping about 1 inch or 2 higher than the final height, so that way we're just installing it, we can get it done nice and quick for you, right? And then after that, we fine tune it, because it's not like we're doing a deck. It's not like everything's perfectly level and everything else, right? So we're dealing with the ground, which goes up and down and everything else. Well, you don't want a roller coaster, but you also don't want to be able to limbo under your fence, right? So what we do is install it, about 1 inch or 2 higher than the final height. Then we use this special butcher block material, goes on top of the cap, and we use a sledgehammer. And then what we can do is fine tune all the posts, so that way you have a nice, even if there's your ground's going up and down, it's gonna do a nice gradual slope, so that way it looks nice at the top, but it's decreasing the gaps at the bottom. That being said, there's been several homeowners that say, I don't care what it looks like at the top, I want it on the ground. So we can do that as well. Just know that when we put it on the ground, it's gonna be like up and down, right? Also, and it's a better way to install that way. The reason for that is you don't want to install too low and raise it up, because what I tell homeowners is, and our customers is basically, we can raise it and it's gonna be good enough for you to pay us. But the problem is that when you raise a fence up, there's a void at the bottom. If the post was originally here and now it's up here, well, you have that gap, there's space underneath there. So it's gonna stay there for a few days, a few weeks, whatever happens to be. But over time, with the wind and everything else, it will settle. So then you're gonna have like the dips and everything else. That's why it's better to install it on the higher side and then we knock it into the ground. With that being said, people are like, well, it's concrete in and blah, blah, blah. The posts are, the posts are solid, but like it's basically, the concrete's like a sleeve around the post, okay? So that gives us the ability to raise it and lower even after the fence has been, or the concrete has been set. So that's one thing. So you don't have to worry about that. The next thing to look out for that happened on the same customer is that the U-channel. So there's, with the panel, it's a tongue and groove system. So think of like a hardwood floor. So everything interlocks, so that way they're not all flapping, they all kind of like intertwine, right? So the U-channels, they go on the outer edges of the fence, okay? The reason for that is because you have the tongue and the groove, right? So the tongue sticks out, you want the U-channel to go in there so it creates a nice flat surface. Same thing for the groove side, it's not as big of an issue. With that being said, when you have a cut section, unless the person's using like a table saw or something like that, which most fence guys are not, which is not a problem. So we use like a circular saw, sawzall, you know, angle grinder, you name it, whatever, to cut the fence. That's the other reason to put the U-channel, so it gives that nice finish to the fence, so it doesn't look like it was ever cut. So there's that. What else to look out for? Another thing to look out for, it's not so much that the contractor is going to lie to you about this, but if you are ever getting a pool installed, you want the gates to open out. So if you're standing outside your yard, the gate has to swing towards you. The reason for that is that it has to be, that's pool code. And what happens is, and also the latch should be at least 54 inches above the ground. That's pool code. So open out at least 54 inches above the ground for the latch, okay? And the reason for that is they basically don't want a little kid to basically put a chair in front of the gate and be able to open it and push it open. So that's why even if they put a chair in front of the gate, when they go to open it, it's going to open into the chair, so they won't be able to open the fence and get access into the yard or the pool. So that's something to be concerned about as well. That's about it for today. If you have any questions, let us know. Again, if you are we're in South Jersey, but we deliver all of South Jersey, Central Jersey, Pennsylvania, like areas of Pennsylvania, Delaware, mostly Newcastle. And so we deliver to all those areas. If you are looking just for materials, we can supply that to you. If you're looking for someone to install the fence, you can basically use our GPS tool. You want to use it on the desktop, and you basically put in your information, you draw the fence where it is, where you want it to be. It will tell you, sorry, I lost train of thought. It will tell you the materials needed, how much the materials are going to cost, and then it'll also give you a list of contractors in your area that we have personally worked with, that we know that they do a great job. The owners are honest and dependable. The workers are actually decent looking, not scary looking like, you know, they belong on a corner somewhere. Just to make sure you have a great experience. So you can use that. You can go to sjfencesupply.com, and if you have any questions, I'm always here for you. We will be creating more and more videos kind of like this, on-site videos, so that way we can show you different tools, tips, tricks, and all that kind of stuff. If you want to install your own fence, if you have to make repairs to your fence, things to look out for, things of that nature. So if there's anything you would like to see, let me know, and I'll be happy to make a video on it. Have a great day. See you.